What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to do another commentary, another bit of a serious one, and I just want to share my thoughts on this topic, which is, obviously, as you can see by the title, Toxicity. And before any of you guys go crazy about how I copied Invictable, that is exactly the point. Invictable made a great video, which I'll link in the description, about what he thinks on the matter of toxicity and what we could do to maybe steer away from being so toxic, and his thoughts on it, basically. And I watched it and I thought it was good, and I would like to throw my opinions in there because I have thought the same things for quite some time, and I would like to share them with you. And I'd take it one step further, and I would encourage anyone that also makes videos out there that wants to actually be a little bit less toxic to make a video as well, talking about their thoughts on the topic and kind of spreading the message around about some of the stuff I will be talking about, or Invictable talked about. You know, people that I would specifically like to see, it doesn't matter, but like people that I would specifically right off the top of my head like to see a video from potentially is Tabor, AoE, Tapple would be someone that I would like to see. He's got a big audience, and I think he shares a lot of the same views. I'd like to see a video from him, although he doesn't really do those type of videos. But even like maybe Justin or Kenny, you know, they're like pretty much the farthest from toxic that you can get, but they have a large audience, and I think that they've also noticed how toxic it can be on Hypixel as of recently. But I just want to talk about my thoughts on it and what I'm going to personally do to make myself better, and what maybe you guys could do as well if you care at all. Obviously, if you're an asshole and you're listening to this, you're clearly not going to listen to anything. I don't even know why you would continue past this point, because you're clearly not going to listen to what I have to say or anyone has to say. You're just going to continue being that guy. But for the people that are kind of just interested, feel free to keep listening. It's going to be a bit of a long one. I recorded this previously, and it was like 20 minutes long, so I'm going to try to cut it down to like 10. But let's get right into the topic, and I'll just summarize all of my points. Now, if you play Skywars, and I'm mainly going to be talking about Skywars, specifically Mega Skywars, but it does apply to the whole entire server. If you play it, you've seen how toxic the community is. Just people calling each other names every waking moment. People just being generally assholes to each other, in whatever way that is, you know. Gunning for one person, basically just targeting them. Saying stupid shit in chat. Making fun of each other. All of that stuff. It's just risen so heavily recently. And before I get into the main topic, I would just like to say that pretty much every community on Hypixel in every game is toxic. As far as I've seen, they're just pretty much all really, really toxic at this point. Skywars is probably the worst, because it has the most players and the most people that care way too much. And frankly, because of that, they're kind of mean. Well, not kind of mean, they're complete assholes. But Quake is a great example of a game mode that I think is pretty much untainted by the toxicity. If you ever play Quake, you realize that people are just good sports in that game. There's often times where I get destroyed, or I'm just not doing well, and I feel frustrated because all this toxic energy that has rubbed off on me, and I think that's what happened to a lot of players, is they became more toxic as everyone else became more toxic. And, you know, I want to say something stupid in the chat sometimes, and I don't, but I want to. And then I see everyone saying GG, like literally everyone that played the game says GG, well played, and they mean that. They don't mean it ironically, you know, like, oh, I wrecked you, GG. Like, they don't mean it like that. They mean it legitimately. And then you think, why? I can't be mean to these people. These people are so kind. Why am I angry with people that are this sportsmanlike? It's just kind of crazy, honestly. So shout out to you guys that play Quake, because, you know, that community is actually quite wonderful. But anyways, hopping back into the main topic here, I'm already running out of time. But basically, my thought is, why are we doing it? What happened to Hypixel, basically? But what happened to Skywars to get us to this point? And I'll tell you what I think happened as quickly as I can here. I started to play Skywars about 3.5 weeks before Oasis, the mega map, was taken out. And it was wonderful. One of my first highlights was like a 16-kill game or something stupid. But you know, I saw so much promise, and people were so nice back then, and they would say legitimately GG, good fight, but they meant it because it was a good fight, or they enjoyed fighting. And people were just nice to each other. There was a lot of friendships that happened back then. I know a lot of the people I play with and know all played back then, and we kind of like, can connect over that. And I often talk about how good it was back then. And that very quickly changed. For example, when I started to stream, I should say, Mega Skywars, I was awful. I mean, just generally at PvP, I was terrible. But secondly, at the game mode, I had nothing. I was shitty. And, people, a great example, and I doubt you know him, but Tall Grass was one of the first people. He doesn't play anymore. But he was one of the first people that he killed me in a game, came into my stream, and instead of saying some stupid, ignorant shit, he said, "Hey, sorry about that. Do you want to party up so I can show you a couple things and show you how to play this game maybe a little bit, maybe some strategy?" And so he literally just, instead of being an ass, he partied me and taught me how to play Mega Skywars. And that happened a lot. And frankly, a lot of you probably didn't even play then, and you probably have never experienced that, but that's what it was like. It was really kind of a special thing. And I wish it got back to that. But, now there's this new wave. Ever since and I'm not blaming it on Badline, but for a really long time, all of the more competitive Minecraft PvP servers looked at Hypixel and laughed, and thought it was like unacceptable to play on there if you were serious, or not even serious, just to play on there in general or make videos on there. And then very specific people in the Badline community that made highlights and whatnot started to play on Hypixel and record on Hypixel a little bit, and very, very quickly it became acceptable to play on Hypixel. And so thousands of new players came over, and Hypixel grew as a result, but the toxicity and the competitiveness and the saltiness all just increased tenfold, and it became very, very hostile. And I'm not completely blaming that on those players. I'm sure some of them are fine, but ever since that was kind of the tipping point. Now there's a whole new wave of these just pricks that are always angry with everyone. They're super toxic whenever they kill someone. They target people. They're just generally not very good human beings. But that's kind of what we've been dealing with recently. I think that this toxicity that has kind of been created has actually brushed off on a lot of the original players. So not only are these newer players super toxic, but the old ones are now toxic, including myself. I'm not excluding myself from that, because I sometimes I do get a little toxic, and I've already taken steps to change that. But I will continue explaining what I mean by that. But I think a lot of the old players are now super toxic, so it just kind of is a whole stew of this caustic liquid that no one really wants or cares about. And when you really break it down, why are you being toxic in the first place? There's no point to it. You're not gaining anything from it. And I really don't like to pull the age card, because let's face it, Minecraft's audience is, and it should be, well, not should, it doesn't really matter what the audience is. I don't think age is really relevant, because you could be doing completely different things. You could have a very young child just messing around in survival, or you could have what I think online, the people that play on servers consistently, I would say from about 12 to 17, I would say. And there are outliers on both ends, but I would say mainly that's, so you're looking at middle schoolers to high schoolers, right? And I don't like to pull the age card a lot, but the thing is, why are you like this? Like, why are you trying to be this person that you're clearly not? People create these huge online egos in Minecraft, and I don't know why they do it in Minecraft, because chances are very good that you are still, frankly, a child. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I can just look at this, having been an adult for several years now, and look at it and say, why? What do you... I know what responsibilities I had when I was that age, and I had none. I had literally no responsibility pretty much throughout high school. I was a shithead. Well, just in the sense that I didn't do anything, really. Which, is what most people, I guess, are. So, there's not really anything wrong with it. But why are these people having this huge fake personality online and being super, super mean-spirited to other people online? Because you know that they're not like that in real life. 99% of you, some of you actually might be just awful human beings, but I guarantee most of you are pretty cool, if not totally socially acceptable people. I don't know how many of you are very social as a whole. Like, I don't know how many people are going to parties. I don't know how many people are having a lot of social interaction with people. I don't know. I mean, it's not for me to know, but I'm saying what I experienced was, not, frankly, just I pride myself in not being someone that's fake, and so many people that are toxic, I know that they're just fake human beings. Online they are. In real life, you're probably pretty pleasant, and I'm not going to judge you because I don't know you. And that's what it should be like. If you don't know a person, don't judge them. Don't be mean to them without knowing them. It doesn't make any sense. Do you do that in real life? Do you just walk up to someone that says something to you, probably not even something rude, and tell them to kill themselves? No, of course you don't do that, because you would be shunned and probably have to seek counseling. But there's, it's the fact that there's no actual punishment online that people really like. So that's what they just tend to be completely fake human beings online, because they don't seek any actual sort of real life punishment. I can tell you that there's a lot more to life, and trust me, I still haven't completely conquered this thing, and I don't think you ever do. And I don't want this to get too, not inspirational, that's not the word I'm looking for, but, yeah, whatever. I don't want this to get like that, where I'm just preaching to you guys, but as of recently, in the last couple of years, specifically about the last 3 or 4, probably when I was late 17 to now what I am 20, I really kind of took up a lot of different hobbies in terms of, or not hobbies, but I prioritized the more important real life things in my life, and I think that's what you guys should, well, I can't tell you how to live your life again, but, I don't care about this game because of it. That's basically, I like making videos. In fact, I love it. I like interacting with people, but I don't care about the actual core game. I don't care about how well I'm doing. It feels good, and I like to achieve. I like to pride myself in, doing well, but it doesn't really matter. I spend most of my time, now that I don't live at home and none of my friends do, I spend most of my time going out to dinner, making dinner with them, hanging out with them, having a good time, just kind of screwing around, going places, taking trips, going to parks with my parents and stuff like that. Having actual real social interaction, it's so much more worthwhile. Don't waste your time being an asshole online. It just doesn't make any sense at all. But that's basically my whole spiel on the fake personalities online versus real life. But anyways, my steps that I will be taking personally to be less toxic is I've already just started to ignore people that say some ignorant shit that I don't care about, or say something mean to someone else or me, or say something that just that no one really cares about, that doesn't lead to a conversation or anything nice. You can't get anything out of it. I've just started to ignore those people, so I'll never see your chat. I don't know if you can see mine if I ignore. You probably can, but I can't see yours, so I can't be toxic back. That eliminates that toxicity there. So I've just started to do that, and the people that are super positive and have actually something to say to me, I have started to talk to a lot. I've just randomly talked to people, fans in lobbies for a while. Not all the time, but I try to talk to people that have something legitimate to say. That's what I've just started to do. I'm not, I very rarely will shout something, but I'm just going to completely eliminate that. I'm not going to shout any stupid shit unless I mean it in terms of a positive thing. But I'm pretty much just done having any sort of conversation with any stupid people, because they're not worth the time or effort. Like I said before, you're being toxic on Minecraft. You don't deserve the time of day to have a legitimate human conversation in real life or through the game, so I'm just going to completely ignore you. And if you really, really feel the need to shout something, I saw a tweet from Taffel, which was actually, I was going to say funny, but it's, to be fair, it'd be kind of cringy, but I think it's like a a good point. He says, when someone types L in the chat, I sometimes type back of you, or OVE, love without the L, obviously. And I think that's actually pretty funny, and I think that if you have to shout something, do something stupid like that, because that way you're not being toxic, you're not going to get muted, you aren't adding to the stupidity that the other people are obviously spreading, and I think it's just kind of funny, because, you know, why not? Just say something, just take the L out of whatever. If they say L, just take the L out of any word. Lemons would work, just say emmons. I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny in a way, but if you really feel the need to shout, don't shout anything, but if you feel the need to shout something positive or stupid like that. That's basically my thoughts. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. I think I'm going to wrap this sucker on up. So, once again, thank you, Invictable, for the idea on this one. I basically just took your video and redid it and put my thoughts into it, but that is the point. That is exactly what I'm trying to do here. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. It was a lot of ranting. So, you know, if you stuck it out to the end, type of you in the comments, OVEU, and you know, I'll try to respond to any positive comments again. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate that. And leave a like on the video. It's always appreciated. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.